Well, you could tell by the way he used his walk that this was not Eric L. Adams' first time at a disco. Wearing red plaid pants and a maroon textured blazer over an open collar shirt, Mr. Adams, the Brooklyn borough president, darted between two partners as the dance floor changed colors, and the sounds of Tavares' 1975 hit "It Only Takes a Minute" boomed through the speakers. I loved disco. Had my best nights out with just a group of friends that enjoyed dancing, enjoyed having a good drink and enjoyed meeting very attractive ladies on the dance floor, said Mr. Adams, 57. It was just a good era. The scene was part of a celebration Wednesday night of the 40th anniversary of Saturday Night Fever at the former site of 2001 Odyssey, the discotheque in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, where the film starring John Travolta was filmed. The movie debuted in New York City on December 12, 1977, according to IMDb. Gianluca Mech, an Italian businessman, spent more than $200,000 to recreate the famous disco from what is now a Chinese restaurant, Bamboo Garden, if only for one night, just to honor a movie that he said changed his life after he sneaked in to see it with his sister in Italy when he was 8 years old. When I feel a little tired, when I feel I cannot have success with what I want to do, I watch this film once more and I feel strong again, said Mr. Mech, who sported a custom-made Dolce & Gabbana-designed version of the white three-piece suit made famous in the movie by Mr. Travolta. Instead of bell-bottoms, the $5,000 suit was tapered at the legs and perfectly met the tops of a pair of shiny patent leather shoes. All around the makeshift club, enough men sported versions of Mr. Travolta's white ensemble that it felt like 1977 all over again. But this is not Tony Manero's Brooklyn. The once Italian, Irish, and German enclave is now a bastion for Chinese immigrants. There are at least 5 Chinese restaurants and 2 Chinese grocers along the 3-minute walk from the 8th Avenue N train stop to the former site of 2001 Odyssey. The sign for the Maimonides Cancer Center is also written in Chinese characters. And the house on 79th Street that served as Manero's home in the movie is now on the market for $2.50 million. Back then, in 1977, you could have gotten this house pretty cheap, just like any house around here, said Jim Brocking, 55, a listing agent with Ben Bay Realty of Bay Ridge. A diverse group of people have come to look at the house where the current owners, in spite of major renovations, have left the dining room the same as it was in the movie. They purchased the home for $975,000 in 2005. It used to be more Italian, Irish, and German. Now you have a big influx of Asians and people from the Middle East. It's a nice melting pot, Mr. Brocking said. Census figures from 2016 show that the Chinese population in Brooklyn has increased almost 19% to 204,225 from 172,177 in 2010. Chinese people now make up approximately 8% of Brooklyn's population, up from 7% in 2010. Maria Campanella, known as Maria the Ice Cream Girl for the truck she has driven around Bensonhurst for over 30 years, said the area has changed since she used to sneak into 2001 Odyssey, cruise 86th Street and order double-layer slices at Lenny's Pizza, made famous when Mr. Travolta's character got a couple of slices there. It was all about hanging out, not coming home till the next day. Getting in trouble, going out to diners afterward, Ms. Campanella, 53, said in her thick Brooklyn accent. Now a lot of diners closed up recently. Everything is changing, including this place, but it's still gorgeous. The dance party, however, was about reminiscing, as Mr. Adams proclaimed Wednesday as Saturday Night Fever Day in Brooklyn. Back for the evening was Karen Lynn Gorney, who played Stephanie, the girlfriend of Mr. Travolta's character in the movie. The Tramps performed their hit song Disco Inferno, and Carol Douglas, whose name appeared on the marquee of the club in the movie, also sang. Lenny's Pizza, still on 86th Street in Bensonhurst, was served free all night. Joseph Curcio and his sister, Elizabeth Curcio, appeared in many of the movie's dance scenes. He had a whole head of hair. Ms. Curcio, 61, a retired hospitality worker, said when asked if people still recognized them. "It was all about dancing for us and getting a new outfit every week." The pair frequented the 2001 Odyssey when a casting director noticed their moves and invited them for a tryout. It was exactly like the movie Segregated. There was racial tension. They juiced up the sex in the cars, though, Mr. Curcio, 58, a hairstylist, said of the movie, "It was the greatest experience of my life." The film, which follows Mr. Travolta's character Tony Manero as he spends most weekends dancing at the disco while dreaming about a brighter future for himself, is a cult classic closely associated with Brooklyn. In a December 16, 1977 movie review, the New York Times critic Janet Maslin noted the movie's dark moments, such as the sexual assault of one of the characters and another character's fatal fall from the Verrazano Narrows Bridge, which links Brooklyn and Staten Island, but says Mr. Travolta was so earnestly in tune with the character that Manero becomes a source of fierce, desperate excitement. Ms. Maslin concluded that at its best, the music moves with a real spring in its step, and the movie does too. Randy Jones, the cowboy from the Village People, said the 2001 Odyssey was the site of the group's first live performance in February 1978 after Saturday Night Fever began making the club famous. "There's a lot of people from that era who ain't around anymore," Mr. Jones said after performing. "That's why it's your duty to represent the good times and good feelings of your youth."